Okay, let's get started. This is amateur hour. Chris Melvin, City of Piqua Wastewater. We got shut out due to the COVID to have a grand opening at our wastewater facility. We started construction in 2017 and just ended, so a 3-year run. We did an upgrade and expansion due to SSOs to the Great Miami River. We discharge into, I'm going to switch around. Told you, amateur hour. We have a shared bike path here, county bike path, and we also have a beautiful view of the Great Miami River. Actually, there's waterfalls across from us that people swim in during the summer, so we have to have a clean discharge. Kayakers launch right down in there, and this is River Mile 114. Bear with me on using this camera and this selfie stick. But anyways, Piqua Atomic Power tells you all about it. It's very interesting. Here's a view facing our administrative offices. And again, Atomic Dome. Walking around to the north side, you'll see the new Headworks building. We utilize our old wet well just for connectivity. We have 3 main sewer lines coming in, 2 36s and a 42. Again, coming into the common wet well. And then from there we have a new 42 that heads up to the Headworks building. And you see the new generator. That's a 1500 kilowatt Cummins powered generator for backup power. Okay, we're walking up to the Headworks. Try to do a 360 here. Facing west back toward the river. EQ to the north. Construction trailer still on site. Still in punch list as of August 2020. We're pumping 42 feet head. We have 4 submersible flight pumps to pump into the Headworks screens. We have a 5-ton crane above to lift them out. We have 2 wet wells that actually can act independently and act as one large wet well. Our Headworks building. New generator on the left. We have a dumpster room for the compactors, Headworks compactors. We've got a grit slurry system, works fantastic. We had cold storage for grit and grease and had freezing problems in the winter. We're living large now with this garage. Okay, this is the top floor of the Headworks building at Piqua Wastewater Plant. We've got dual channels that can handle full 21 million gallons per either channel. So duty screen, standby screen. As we flow through, heads out to conical grit tray system. Works very, very well. Oops, wrong way. And let me give you a shot here of flowing through the ditches from this process. As you can see, we got two West Tech ditches. We just run on one side at a time. We have another 42-inch pipe that conveys from the headworks, screenings, grit system over to these West Tech ditches. And again, there's two of them. We have B&R modulation zones. So we're looking at the anaerobic, and there's flight mixers down in these. You can actually see one open and one full and one empty. One of the mixers. Those are 100 horsepower aerator motors up on top. Ammonia's down well below 0.1 now. We're near 0.1, so we're very elated with that. We monitor ORP, DOs, has nitrate. Currently we don't have nutrient permit requirements, but we're ready to go when they come. And then we have a serpentine fashion out here with an inner ring and an outer ring. You can see we're getting a lot of oxygen transfer through the two aerators. I don't know if it's going to show up, but we're going to try. I'm trying to get y'all a picture. There's one. I'm going to zoom in and see if you can. Coming up on one of our 3 final tanks. And we have launder covers, which helps out immensely for algae control and algae growth. And also they're 16 foot deep, and they have the Stanford baffles as well. So we have great settability and don't have solids loss like we used to have in the other shallower tanks. In the old shallow tanks, they were 10 foot and 12 foot respectively. Normally we run 1 final tank. But we can run 2, and we usually get better settability and it's a lot clearer. So we play it both ways. I tend to like the 2 tank version, but we have, extra for high flows. Coming up on our WAS building here as well. One of the features of this plant was a very, very robust SCADA system. It allowed us to get to 1 shift operations, and also as well we had retirements and we had attrition, so we were able to come into the 21st century with that. And we need to mention CDM Smith was our integrator on that, with Mike Jagels and Chris Washington working really, really hard. And then we had CDM Smith as our design and construction manager as well. Mark George is project manager. Kirthi and Dora down in Cincinnati office, thank you so much. I would be remiss if I did not thank Ed Seidel. Ed Seidel was the RPR on this project. He actually came in late in the water project and was immense in helping them get through the final stages. And he's been incredible here. We had Peterson Construction as our general contractor. They did our water plant from the 2015 to 17, and then came over here for this build. Started out with Kurt Ketter Henry, and then we had Doug Van Sloshen come in as superintendents. Brian Morgan was both the water plant and here as assistant superintendent. Greg Kemper was project manager, and he did water as well. So a lot of really, really good crew and staff that we. The land that the new tanks and the new buildings were built on is, thank you very much to John Harris and Piqua Materials. They donated this ground to us, so we had to have some lime moved off the site, but there was 9 acres here given to us. It was all mined, so there wasn't much excavating to put in these tanks. We're standing on 20 foot of fill. Obviously on the backside we tapered off back down to ground level, but it has worked out fantastic. We had a good base. We got down to bedrock, and this place is not going anywhere. So I'm going to go into this RASWAS basement and show you. Okay, this basement consists of 4 RAS pumps. We specified crane pumps wherever we could, just due to the fact that they're local manufacturer. They're right here in town. People who live in Piqua make these pumps. So our wasting pumps, our RAS pumps, those are scum pumps over there. We also had east drain pumps and west drain pumps. So we did get a lot of applications for the use of crane pumps. We also did pump stations last year with submersibles, and we were able to use crane pumps in all those pump stations. We have 5 pump stations that we dropped in crane pumps, and we have 7 altogether. Howard Phillips, our assistant superintendent. Behind him's a repurposed generator that we had, low hour generator in the plant. It was Cummins as well. So that picks up the middle of the plant. And the big boy down there, the original or the new one, is picking up the influent and effluent and everything else. This is the main electrical room. There's a basement under here as well for electrician's dream. There were supposed to originally be 3 large manholes. Peterson and Willis Electric. I didn't think Willis Electric. Butch Willis, Scott Morehouse. Awesome group. Very wonderful to work with. They were at the water plant as well. This building is non-potable here. We use a lot of water to backwash the screens and to help the grit slurry system. We also put some chlorine tablets in there. It came on his truck, dropped it right onto the pad. Let me open this up. Very nice package. As you can see, another OIT. Vertical turbines, hatches to pull them out up on the ceiling. Biosolids building, centrifuge building. Down past the gator, we've got cold storage. It's 50 by 60 for winter storage when we're outside the 90 days of storing on the fields. It's a pretty big building, actually. Electrical room. Polymer feed room. Nice garage bay. We'll end up ultimately putting a workshop, a satellite workshop. And this is a centrifuge. Plotwood. Runs smooth as silk. About 20%. We're currently going to landfill. We had to drain the old plant into the new plant. Had a lot of solids backed up because we rephased. We had a liquid train we had to get online in November and during the holidays. Sorry about jumping around. Some more garage space too as well here. Got a small little lab and operator's room. Hallway, it leads down to the restroom and the electrical room and maintenance room. Repurposed old storage tank, and that's where we waste to. It's aerated holding. We have the airs and blowers. This is a 23-foot deep tank. Let me walk over to it. But anyways, back to the phasing. We had to bring in the biosolids later, so we drained the old plant into the new plant, fought solids because they were dead pretty much in the old plant, brought them over to the new plant. They were never going to come back to life. Chased them around tank to tank because we had to gain room for repurposing the tanks. We converted out our aeration basins. We had 4 aeration basins and we turned them into aerobic digesters. So liquid first, winter and early spring were solids trains, and then we also converted out our gaseous chlorine to UV, so we were on the clock from November to May to make that happen. So again, getting rid of the old solids, trying to bring back to life. We were just better off running to Cherokee Run landfill and starting over once we get fresh. We're back over near the river. This is the county bike path. Comes right past the facility. We're slated to have a new bike path bridge right down there. And when that happens, then we'll be able to basically push the fence out toward the river and isolate ourselves again like we used to be. So we're coming up on our UV structure that's open bay right now. That's soon to be enclosed here in the next couple weeks. We don't want birds up there. We don't want leaves and sticks and storm debris. But we ended up with the Wetico incline slant. There's 2 channels, 4 banks per channel. We also have a small little effluent sampler shed there as well. This manhole's got a new effluent mag meter. And then up in the distance, you're going to see some big boy vertical turbine pumps, effluent river pumps for when the river gets high. We have to push out into it. And they will do it. They're rated at 12 million a piece. Here's an east elevation. So we had a 1969 building that was a chlorine contact tank. They actually added onto the walls of the contact tank, raised it up. Obviously the building was ready to come down. Didn't take much to push it over, being that old and being chlorine based. This is a completely automated system. It's functioned fantastic. Got transmittance sensor out front and a flow meter, and the algorithms take over. The banks will rotate. Sorry, the channels will rotate. The banks will sense the transmittance. Right now we're currently running 80, so we're very, very clean. And so we dialed down to the lowest setting at 50% with just 2 banks on, and we're getting E. coli's of about 2 and 3. So it's definitely doing a kill. Gonna walk over to our post aeration and our final effluent. Very clean. Contact tank's not real clean right now, but the water looks like drinking water if you put it in a glass. Obviously one won't sip it to prove it. And then again, as we get a river alarm, we would kick on 1 or 2 of these pumps based on what we need. I'm gonna take you over inside the repurposed plant for the aerobic digesters. Small building up on the left was an unused building, but it sits over our tunnel system. And we've actually put our SCADA servers and hosting equipment in there, along with security and phone system and fiber optic hub. So these are the aeration basins that were converted over. This first one in front of us is actually empty, but it acts as a stormwater EQ basin. We leave it open, and then if our drainage pump system can't keep up, it backflows into this for the initial surge of any heavy rain. And then the other three have been converted out to aerobic digesters. Older building up there with the air intakes on it was a 1957 original building that we actually put the new blowers in, and it's also a small maintenance garage. Let's walk up to the digesters. So this tankage actually was 6 separate zones. You had, this would be one aeration basin with 2 passes, and you had 6 separate zones. So the interior walls were cut out, new standpipes, stainless steel standpipes, and diffuser grid put on the floor, new blowers. We had old Hoffmans. Now we've got the airs and positive displacements. Got a mixing system as well. Those are flight mixers. Get to see it all. You got one full, one down below the mixers, and one that's empty. Those are EDI diffusers. We repurposed the belt press building. Used to be originally back in '88, and this was where the centrifuge, thickening centrifuge was. It caught fire in the late '90s. We didn't replace it. We ended up with a couple various belt presses in here, and now we have rotary drum thickener. Works really well. We waste to the storage tank, aerate it, come down to the rotary drum thickener, get it about 5%. All the old 88 pumps went out, and the new pumps came in. As I mentioned, there's part of our tunnel system. We had return pumps sitting here, gained a lot of space. Tunnel all the way back to the administrative offices. Thought I was done. I'm usually never done talking. Everybody that knows me knows that. I'll walk up here to this blower building. But special thanks, Piqua Power I mentioned, our IT department, City of Piqua IT department with Ben Turner, Brett Reed over at Power. He did a lot of drone flyovers for us, and he's got a short video behind this video. Now I'm forgetting our staff. Our staff did a lot of moving of solids and liquids to accommodate interfacing with Peterson. They get a big shout out and salute. They are the best. The reason I came in here is because these things are amazing on the sound deadening. We had the old Hoffmans in here, and we used to actually have a Caterpillar that was a methane driven blower system, and it was a very, very, very loud, noisy building. Not anymore. Tip my hat to the people that design these things. Pretty much back to the front of the plant again. This is our main parking lot, along with what's up on the public bike path. That's our maintenance garage. That's still in play. We're located at 121 Bridge Street, and if anybody has any questions, they're more than welcome to give me a call.